Hello. I want to welcome everyone to Courageous Conversations. Just say no. This is where I get up on my soapbox and share something that is a social issue that affects me and every human being. I think we all need to put our card on the table and walk in someone else's shoes so we get to hear their side, feel their pain, not know what they suffer. I want people to talk to their circle about social issues. How can you make social change happen? With a loving spirit, Dr. Denise Baker-Inegbenebo,
Ph.D.
The sun rises over the Central Valley, but today a strange silence hangs in the air. The fields of strawberries and lettuce are untouched, the tractors idle. This is not peace, it's abandonment. The hands that once tended these fields are gone. Workers have vanished, some taken in the night, others fleeing in fear. The crops rot, a harvest of sorrow. I remember the ache in my back, the sun on my skin, the hope these fields once held. For millions, these fields were the first step toward a dream. We did the work others would not, feeding a nation that often looked at us with suspicion. Now, that dream is a nightmare. Every white van could be ICE, every knock a threat. The community is bound by terror, not hope. The silence is about missing fathers, mothers, brothers, and sisters. It's the sound of families torn apart. It's a wound on the soul of the USA. The fields stand as a stark reminder. When we erase the people who feed us, we erase part of ourselves. The silence is not just absence, it's a warning. Who will fill these fields now, and at what cost? The people being targeted aren't criminals, they're parents, neighbors, the backbone in their communities. Their only crime, crossing a line in search of a better life. Fear seeps into every part of their daily life. Parents are afraid to take their kids to school or see a doctor. Children wonder if their parents will be home after school. Every errand is a risk. Under new policies, anyone undocumented is a target. A broken tie light can mean deportation for them. The system punishes entire families, not just individuals. When a parent is deported, children, many American citizens, are left traumatized. This is the human cost rarely seen on the news. The suffering happens in the shadows, far from the cameras. We must ask, is this who we want to be as a country? Fear is not just a feeling, it's a policy, and it's tearing families and communities apart. The price is paid by the most vulnerable. Over half of America's 2.4 million farm workers are undocumented. In California, it's closer to 70%. These workers are essential, yet treated as disposable. ICE arrests have surged, sweeping up people who've lived here for decades. The message, no one is safe. For every arrest, dozens more retreat into the shadows. They avoid schools, churches, and help, even in crisis. This fear destabilizes entire communities. The system is cruel and self-defeating. White supremacy is taking communities down with no say in court regarding a bit of justice. Instead of all injustice, the USA is spending billions to deport people whose labor sustains our economy. Families are torn apart, children left in foster care, poverty cycles deepen. Our food supply weakens as workers disappear. This isn't rational policy, it's white supremacy ideology over common sense. The numbers prove it's not working. We all pay the price. These policies are rooted in a long history of racism and white supremacy, and is truly fear of people who look different than white America. Dehumanizing language, illegals, aliens, makes cruelty easier to justify. Every wave of immigrants has faced suspicion and hostility. Today, the target is people with black and brown skin. The rhetoric changes, but the message is the same. Some people are less human, inferior according to white supremacy. Politicians use coded language to stoke division and resentment between ethnic groups. Immigrants are scapegoated for economic problems they had nothing to do with caused by corporate greed. It's divide and conquer, tearing our country apart. The fight for immigrant rights is tied to the fight for racial justice in the USA. The same systems oppress Black and immigrant communities alike. An attack on one is an attack on all. To build a just society, we must dismantle white supremacy. Solidarity is our only path forward. Coming together, Black and brown people have to unite. The missing workforce is now every American's problem. Crops rot in the fields, prices rise, and grocery shelves empty. Restaurants and hotels can't find enough staff, some close their doors. These are jobs most Americans won't do, yet we depend on immigrant labor. For decades, businesses profited from undocumented workers paying low wages and denying benefits. If farm owners knew their farm workers were illegal, why did they hire them and pay them under the table? Who should be accountable for that? Now, stricter enforcement exposes USA dependence. The absence of these workers reveals the truth. We need them, cannot survive without them. Their labor keeps food affordable and services running. When they disappear, the system begins to crumble, and that is what we are all seeing. The empty table is a symbol of our hypocrisy. We can't demonize people while relying on their work. Our economy and communities are intertwined. The cost of exclusion is paid by all. The question is, will we face this truth? This is about our shared humanity. Imagine if it were your family living in fear, your children left behind. Millions make impossible choices every day for a chance at safety and hope. They ask not for handouts, but for dignity and a chance to belong to the USA. The current system is broken, cruel, inefficient, and immoral. We need reform rooted in compassion and common sense. We need to keep families together and recognize immigrants' contributions. This is a moral test for our nation this time. The silence in the fields is a warning. Will we listen and act before it's too late? In closing, you have to ask yourself the question, if this was my family and we knew people were already being deported, would you show up for work? We got to discuss this issue in our inner circle of family and friends. I want to proclaim that all of these so-called illegal immigrants have been doing work. We are just not willing to do. Why would we deport them? Why not expedite their paperwork so they are legal? Something to think about and talk about.
Be well. Sharing is caring.